Hey hallo allemaal en welkom bij Cape Trekkers, de podcast voor de avontuurlijke reiziger. Ik ben Marijn en vandaag zit ik met
Esther.
en nog iemand, maar die komt via de laptop, namelijk Ken. En die zit op dit moment in Noorwegen.
Ja, die zit in Tromsø.
Ja, want hij komt ook echt daadwerkelijk uit Noorwegen, toch?
Ja, klopt.
Kijk, en wij gaan hem vragen hoe het is om daar te wonen, maar ook wat hij de highlights vindt in Noorwegen. En hij heeft zijn eigen, hij werkt ook voor een bedrijf.
Ja, een touroperator die met name activiteiten aanbiedt in de omgeving van Tromsø.
Ja.
En ik heb Ken leren kennen, op verschillende workshops altijd met hem gezeten. En het is een man die heel goed kan vertellen, die
Zeker.
weet waar hij het over heeft. Het leuke is dat hij ook Sami is. En hij heeft altijd mega veel interesse getoond in onze podcast. Vanaf moment 1 dat ik dat gesprek met hem heb gevoerd. En hij zei, ik wil daar een keer in. Nou, vandaag is de dag.
Ja, en het gesprek met hem zal in het Engels zijn. Dus vanaf nu is alles Engels.
Ja.
Dus zullen we dan gewoon maar meteen doorgaan naar het gesprek met Ken?
Ja, lijkt me heel verstandig.
Heel goed. Well, today we are with a special guest. So maybe for listeners, who are you?
Hello, who am I? I'm Ken, Ken Evenberg, a Norwegian simple boy. Grew up in Karasjok, which is a mainly Sami village. Grew up in a reindeer herding family. That moved to Tromsø. Figure out that there is more to life than just tundras and reindeers. Studied some economics at the university and started also a company at the same time where we were doing Sami experience tours and reindeer sledding for tourists back in 2011. Whereas I sold my shares in 2018 and now I work for something called Best Arctic. And here my job is product development, and it's still in the, tourism industry. So I found my niche, which I like. Yeah.
Sounds good. So you said that you are a normal, typical Norwegian boy. So
yeah, simple boy from the small town.
When are you a simple Norwegian boy?
What makes me one? I think the diversity of interests and friends, you know, when you come from a small town, you have friends that are 50 and you have friends that are, you know, many years younger than you. And you have a huge variety of interests, you know. You have friends that are farmers, so you know a little bit farming. You have friends who are reindeer herders. So you have that, and you're not really grown up in a corporate big society lifestyle where you're running after the clock all the time and you don't have this big city stress. The commutes are usually 5 minutes, so you know that the simple life.
I would like to say, like, it sounded like it's the small town that we are living in, but the stress with the 5 minutes, that's something different. But the rest, we have friends as well who are 50 or 60 or 20 or whatever. That doesn't make, that's for us the same. So I think a typical Norwegian person, because maybe it's good to know why we invited Ken, because I've been talking to Ken at many workshops, and he wanted to share his knowledge about Norway, and I think he is a good person in talking and has different kind of topics that he can talk about. So that's why we said, let's invite Ken over and see what he can tell. And what is really interesting is that you are from a Sami family. So that's why I thought, let's give it a try and see. So that's why Ken is here, actually.
As it was, we were eating dinner at this one workshop in Levi, actually, and you were telling us a little bit that you are trying out this new podcast thing, and I not even jokingly said I want to attend, I want to be a part of it. Yeah. But then you were a little bit uncertain because you said, it's in Dutch, we'll have to see. So it took a few years, but now we're here.
But here we are.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know what a Sami is, what is a Sami?
So Sami is kind of the indigenous people for the northern Scandinavia, I would say. It's a borderless people. You have Samis in Russia, Murmansk and the Kola Peninsula, northern parts of Finland, northern parts of Sweden, and then of course from middle of Norway and all the way up north, you have the Sami people. The cultures are in many branches. What's probably the most known is the reindeer herding culture. Before that, it was a hunting and gathering society, like many other societies before it became modern. But the reindeer herding, as we know today, is started because of, people started getting taxed, so you couldn't really hunt to have your tax. The ownership of reindeer started. They started a little bit, of course, before the taxing as well, but typically it started around 1800, where you had the taxman from Norway, but you also had the Swedish, Danish, and also the Finnish, depending on what areas you lived, or the Finnish Russian, I would say. The history is, I don't remember exact dates and these kind of things. This is, it's always been a oral culture, so the Sami language wasn't written before Christian missionaries started coming up north here, teaching. And actually they made the Sami language a written language so that they could teach us Christianity. And before that it was paganism. There was a god for wind and sun and many things.
You guys are well known about the storytelling as well.
Yeah.
At least that's something what I have heard. And I heard about the stories about Northern Lights. And I have visited some of the Sami musea and Sami locations. And this is a topic I think we didn't prepare. But what of the Sami locations? You have the museum in Ari. I think you have it in Karasjok. And in Tromsø, I actually don't know. Or in Norway, I don't know. What is the Sami culture, the Sami city in Norway? Is there a main city?
Yeah, you would have Karasjok and Kautokeino and Tana, and of course then even smaller places like Sør-Varanger and Varanger, etc., etc. There are many Sami villages, of course, but I'd take the two biggest ones. Most known one is Kautokeino and Karasjok. This is for the north. Then you have Røros in the south, and there are many places also in Nord-Trøndelag that are Sami, and also in Nordland, mostly Sami villages.
And if you need to visit one of these villages to learn more about the Sami culture, which city do you think would be the best?
I would say, if you want a proper good Easter holiday, I would go to Finnmark, to Kautokeino during the Easter holiday.
And why?
And mix that and visit also Karasjok. Yeah, because in Norwegian there are so many red days, bank holidays, and most Samis, they travel home for Easter. Easter is bigger than Christmas for us. It's the time when the reindeer herders started preparing to move their reindeer herds towards the coast. So it used to be this farewell party with all the what we call today inland Sami who became farmers down the line, and fishermen, and this kind inland fishing. So it's just a big gathering. It's like a 10-day-ish festival. The English word is probably confirmation you do in the Christianity. So that happens in Kautokeino and Karasjok during Christmas time. There are many young couples who get married. They plan their weddings towards Christmas, Easter. I mean, and there are festivals, music festivals. You have everybody knows Melody Grand Prix. There is a Sami one that is called Sami Grand Prix, where they take in 10 songs and 10 yoiks every year, and then it's a competition, and the viewers can vote. But it's for Sami music. So the Sami language, the yoiking, which is the Sami way of, let's call, singing.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And if you look at Best Arctic, the company that you work for, is the Sami integrated into Best Arctic? Do you have products with the Sami, or is it something totally different?
No, so yeah, the Sami people are a very modern culture now today. So of course there are activities that you can do to learn, just to get a little peek into the Sami culture. So we do work with 3-4 suppliers who arrange reindeer sledding, or you can do the reindeer feeding and everything. And all of these products have also, of course, talks about the culture included. So there will be like all the companies, they will talk a little bit about the yoik, teach it, you will get to hear it. They will talk about Sami weddings. Sami weddings is super interesting to talk about because everyone can relate. Like every culture has weddings. So everyone, when you're talking with maybe guests from the UK and you tell that you have around 1,000 guests, they're going to be like, wow, there are many guests. And then you have Indian guests and they would say like your weddings are tiny, tiny. And so there's always good laughs around this with talking about weddings, and it's very relatable. So there's a lot of things to learn and explore. And then obviously there are also activities. We don't arrange them, but we do have that in our portfolio for people who are interested. You can go on this spring migration tour where you follow the Sami family from the inland to the coast. And typically these distances are somewhere between, for some families, 50 kilometers from the inland to coast. My family, 220 kilometers is the migration for the reindeer. So it takes a week or 10 days to move the reindeer, and you follow them over the tundra, and they take their time. They're eating their way back to the coast. So it's not like they're in a super hurry.
They take their time.
Yeah, so these are also, if people are interested into doing this type of once in a lifetime type of activities, it is also possible to arrange. And if you ever have questions about this, I'm very happy to help you guys to find the correct supplier for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you told us that you have some special clothes from the Sami. Do you have it with you, or?
No. So
okay.
I really wanted to bring it, but they are not here. They are in my home village.
Yeah.
But the clothing are interesting, for sure. And once you go to one of these tours and you will learn about it, you will also see guides wearing different types because, people that move to Tromsø to study or work or something, they come from Kautokeino or Tana or Karasjok or from the Finnish side or the Swedish sides. And there are varieties in the patterns of how these clothing are made. So I mean, if you like me, I can tell where they are from. So that it's very easy to see. And if you go further south, they have this. It's not a scarf, but you have a cover here and for the chest. And in these patterns, you can actually even tell what family they're coming from or from what family tree. They are even more detailed in that one. But then obviously also if you talk with the older Sami, especially the women, they can also tell which family someone belongs to just by looking at the stitching. But then we're going very nerdy, so
Yeah.
So,
maybe we can do a follow-up sometime
Yeah.
when you are in your hometown and see something more about it.
But we can
That
show
would
some
be
pictures
cool.
behind us. So,
Yeah.
Yes, we have the green screen.
Yeah, the green screen. Yeah.
Yes.
But also with the tourism, how do people think about the tourism in your country? Is it getting too much, or?
I mean, I probably should be very careful what I say because I'm sitting here maybe throwing stone in a glass house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure there are some people that are definitely getting a bit frustrated. There's a little bit too much of this free camping, a little bit too much of these unorganized tours happening, where people are staying in someone's almost backyard, and it's obviously not nice. No one likes that. But I also have the peek into the other side of it, and we can see, take Tromsø for instance, they have probably around over 100 places where you can go buy food and or a pub or beer or something like this. So in Tromsø it's a small city, but it's insane how big restaurant selection you have.
Yeah.
You can eat from like any parts of the world almost. They have something, and these are the good sides. So when we get things, when it's an organized tour, you're going to predetermined places where it's okay to park, where you are welcome, and you leave some money to the districts. I mean, in general, people are happy with it. But then obviously, if you live close to a very popular spot, and people tend to free camp or these kind of things, then of course, yeah, they will be pissed, and I do understand them.
Yeah,
So
totally.
so my job is also, to create interesting enough products so that we can get it into an organized form of tourism. And also in our company, our value is to, when we go to these places, we actually rent the places. We rent them so we can park privately, and we're paying for these. And in return, they lend us their facilities so we can use their tents or use their cabins or use their toilets and so on and so on. So obviously, if you leave money in the district, then you will be liked, and it's well, your job too, but our job to bring you a good enough product portfolio so everyone can be happy.
Yeah. And what is the product that you are most proud of that you are having in your portfolio?
The most proud of? There are many, but I think maybe the coolest product that I have worked on lately is probably just a midnight concert in the city center.
Yeah. In the city center, so not in a cathedral.
No, it's in the church here in the city center, in the wooden church. Yeah, I think I'm most proud of that because it's employing 12, 15 musicians, and they do like 3 days on. So they're singing then every evening, and then there is a new team for the next 3-4 days.
And is it going on all year round, or because
that's
we are both musicians, so this is something we like.
Yeah. And being a musician, a hopeful musician, I mean, make a living on just music is really hard.
Yeah.
But basically these musicians, they can. Obviously, they also like to be what they are, teachers and whatnot. So, but in principle, they are making enough to actually just live off that if they wanted to, because you could do longer shifts and so on. So I think for the culture, Northern Norwegian culture and the music, society here in Tromsø, I'm pretty proud of that. And it's not us alone. I mean, it's also Øyvind and his brother Harald, who has arranged everything with the church. I mean, they are the people. We just distribute and sell and talk about it, of course, but also it's important part. Yeah. So I think that's maybe what I'm most proud of, just because it's also not expensive. It is for everyone. It is for each budget. It's not something you can just buy out. It's supposed to be there for everyone. So I kind of like that.
Cool.
Another product I'm proud of is also our concept of the Northern Light tours, where we actually rent these camps, and we have 7, 8 for the big bus and 10 plus for the minibus in various places around the region. So actually just like a few hours before the tour starts, we monitor the weather and we check which area is the best to go to. And then we have a camp in that area. So, we're coming there, we're employing the family that owns the place. They are usually hosting, they are making the food for the guests. And it's just an extra income for someone that lives out in the district who who's not hugely part of the big society. They're farmers or they're yeah. So that I also like the concept. I'm really proud of as well, because it's not just money to us. It's not just money to the city. It's also actually dripping to the district and the areas that we're actually using. So
That's nice. We have like a saying, local tracks. This is local tracks. You go to a local and you help them as well in a way by visiting. Yeah.
they help us mostly.
Ah, okay.
It's not like they need us, but we do pay for their services. So definitely, yeah.
Nice.
And if someone is going for the first time to Norway, is there a place or a highlight or a city that you think that's a place that you need to go?
Yes. I mean, it's probably not fair because Norway is super beautiful wherever you go.
Yeah.
But for me, there are two places in Norway that are crazy nice, and that is Vesterålen.
Yeah.
It's rough as Lofoten, but it's also more accessible in the way that you don't need to be super fit to enjoy that nature, because you can do hikes where it's not just straight up a wall. But if you really like that as well, that's also possible. So the diversity there. And then I have to say my summer pastures for the reindeer, Snefjord to Havøysund, which is also a national tourist way. It's not as popular because the other road, the two roads you get to choose between, is either that one to Havøysund or to North Cape. And North Cape is obviously more popular.
Yeah.
But if you have the time and you're there with your caravan, and you should drive both of those roads. Like North Cape, obviously, for world end, where Europe ends, but also Havøysund is just beautiful nature. And then there is a third little one that needs to be mentioned, and that is Hamningberg outside of Vardø. It's just a different landscape. I mean, it feels like you're on the moon or something, but it's just crazy nice.
We have images from that.
Okay.
Ramon and I have visited it. So we have images of that as well. It's amazing. So I agree. And it's hard to say exactly because I've traveled all around in Norway and you have traveled as well at so many places already. And then to choose, I'm happy that you decided because I had no clue what to say.
No, and it's not fair also because, again, the popular places, Bergen, Geiranger, Ålesund, Tromsø, Lofoten, there's so many places, Narvik, all of these places, of course, beautiful. But these are my top three favorites, but that's also, I'm biased. I'm from those regions, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But maybe then it's good to mention, because I think we need to round up as well a little bit. That because you said that the most important or most beautiful spots are what you said, the 3 points that you mentioned, but as well, you cannot forget Bergen, Ålesund, all these kind of cities and locations. We have a trip actually with public transport that starts in the southern part of Finland. Then you go to Rovaniemi. Then you take the bus from you guys. I think it's going to Tromsø at my head. And then from Tromsø, you get on board Havila or Hütteruden. And then you visit all these kind of things. Or you take the bus from Tromsø to Lofoten. And then you go on board. And then you sail back. So you see all these beautiful spots from sea, from coastline, but as well from the bus. And I think that's, a unique selling point from you guys with the bus is that it's a guided tour on the bus. It's with audio.
Audio guided, yes.
Yeah.
So there is, it will obviously not gonna be on your ear talking constantly for the whole bus ride. And you shouldn't do that bus ride necessarily in one day, because again, there are so many places that deserves to be stopped at and enjoyed for a night and lunch and dinners and so on. But you can do it in one day. We have had guests that do it, but the audio guide won't be speaking to you the entire bus ride. It's if you allow it to track you on the GPS, it will ping. Okay, so now you're in this area. the population in this little town, and then it's going to tell a little bit about what, fishing industry and what do people live off in this town and these kind of things. So it's small interesting facts, but it's not going to be like a noise in your ear there
the whole time. Now, and the good thing is like a public bus doesn't stop at beautiful spots, but you guys have photo stops included as well with these bus rides. So it's more or less an experience, not only a bus drive. And I think that's very nice. So that's why I was thinking, and it's good that you pointed out these destinations because they suit that trip. So it's the Arctic bus route, right?
Yeah, it's called Arctic Route. So that is basically the brand. And in the summer, it's Lofoten, Tromsø, Rovaniemi. It's called connecting these 3 places. And in the winter, it's actually connecting more places. So it's in the winter, it connects Tromsø, Narvik, Tromsø, Rovaniemi, Tromsø, Skjervøy, Tromsø, Senja, Narvik, Kiruna, and more.
So that's really cool that you guys are having that. And for people who are looking into sustainability, this is perfect. And like Norway is known about the famous nature, and we need to preserve that as well. So I thought let's mention this as well. Yeah. As maybe an idea for people who are looking for something different or something new.
And they're very welcome to contact you. And then if you need any help or ideas, then obviously we have a huge booking team that will always be willing to help with itineraries and inspirational packages as well. So for sure. Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for your time.
And maybe we can do a follow-up someday, somewhere, because we have
to talk about.
Yeah, I think we only had 3 out of 10 questions that we prepared. So we have some follow-up podcast episodes as well. We can plan that.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do like a tap-in also for the Easter holiday. I can go home next year and I'll film for you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. We stay in touch.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And let's stay in touch.
Yes.
Indeed. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Nou, dat was dus het gesprek met Ken. Nou, was leuk, hè?
Ja, zeker.
Ja, zeker leuk. Nou, dus wil je ons nou bereiken? Dat kan dus via capetex.nl. En al onze social media platformen. Ja. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. En we zullen ook even een linkje naar de website van Ken plaatsen.
Ja, dat is sowieso dus praktisch.
Dan kun je ook zien waar hij het over gehad heeft. De busroute en dat soort dingen.
En heb je nou interesse in een reis die we besproken hebben? Laat het even weten. Dan kunnen we altijd kijken naar de opties die er zijn. En zoals jullie weten van ons, alles is aan te passen naar eigen wens. Dus daar kunnen we ook in helpen. En ik denk dat we maar gewoon follow-ups moeten doen. En ik vond dit echt heel leuk. Dus misschien moeten we maar gewoon hier een standaardje van maken. Dat we af en toe met een local gaan zitten.
Ja, dat is wel leuk, ja.
Ja, toch?
Nou, dan wil ik jullie weer bedanken voor het kijken en luisteren. En dan heb ik nog maar 1 ding te zeggen. En dat is...
Just follow us.